You're listening to the Decision Reels special episode of
How have you not seen this?
Welcome to How Have You Not Seen This, a special bonus episode from us at The Decision Reel. Here we dive into popular movies that you have somehow missed. This week, we have Randy, we have Steve, and we have Wyatt from where, Randy? Putting you on the spot.
Cinema Trip.
Cinema Trip Reviews.
Close. Cinema Trip Reviews.
Damn it. Yeah, there we go. We're here today to talk about a movie that somehow we all have missed, The Usual Suspects. But
Wait, you haven't seen it either?
I have not seen it either.
No, Wyatt. I don't care about you right now. Wyatt. Okay. You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it at all.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Right.
Somehow missed this movie.
Everybody missed it, apparently.
Yeah, everybody.
Not everybody in the 90s, though, because this was a huge hit, apparently. Or maybe. I don't know. We're going to find out. But before we get too deep into things, I do want to say, if you do like what you hear or see, you can find us on our social media sites. Where, Randy?
You can find us at The Decision Reel on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else?
We got a website you can go to,
We do.
which is www.thedecisionreel.com. On there, you can find
T-shirts.
That's right. You can help support us in any way you want besides buying T-shirts. What? Yeah. T-shirts. That's
I
it.
bought mine. I shrunk it.
You shrunk it.
Shrank it?
That's why you always get the size above
I
you.
got a large.
Oh.
I'm not a large.
Okay. Well, then.
I stretched it out. Hopefully it still fits.
All right.
If not, Rachel's going to wear it.
Okay, cool. But anyways, we do have Wyatt from Cinema Trip Reviews. If you want to, Wyatt, give us a little rundown on what you got going on there and where you can find where everybody can find you.
Yeah, pretty much all we do is just talk about, movies from the old classics to the new ones that are just coming out. Pretty much just breaking down and talking everything about the movies from the facts all the way up to the actual breakdown of the movie itself. You can find me at Cinema Trip Reviews on YouTube and on Instagram, and you can also find me on Twitter at Cinema Trip Views. So I couldn't fit reviews all in the handle.
Of course. You can only get so much in there.
Yeah.
I saw you did Terrifier 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Terrifier 2.
Yeah, was it good?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Good? Okay. I'm going to watch it.
I actually just reviewed Men, A24's Men last week, and I don't recommend that movie at all. It was just pretty terrible.
Just don't watch it. No, Terrifier 2 was great, but it was, to me, like 35 minutes too long. It needed... I liked it a lot more than the original, but the original was just the right amount of time, where this one was just like, all right, get to the fucking point. All right, all right, what are you doing now with this dagger? All right, she's in a pit. All right, she's in a fucking glass case of water. All right, just end the movie. And then it did. And I was like,
they went all out with the supernatural stuff
but
towards like the end of the movie, and it was way too kind of very bunched up towards the end. They went on way too long with that third act.
Yeah, it was like super convoluted, and like nothing came of a lot of it. Like the dad's spoilers. Apparently, we're getting super deep into Terrified too. It doesn't matter.
But it's fine.
They explain stuff with the dad, and like he has a notebook in which he's making drawings and stuff, and like you're expecting a payoff to that, and then nothing happens. Now I do know that they said that if this movie makes money, they're going to make possibly another one and some other stuff, which it definitely has made its money. So hopefully we get some answers.
That's from what I saw. Apparently, the director said he already has most of like the script written for 3, and he said it's not going to be anywhere near as long as the second one. He said he can't do that again. It was way too much involved going into this one that he wants to kind of shorten it down, like you mentioned. Go back to what was kind of the runtime with the first one, or like the tight hour and a half. Hour and 40 minutes.
So
and
even he knew it was too long.
I think it was one of those like, hey, look, I have no idea if I'll be able to make another one, so fuck it. Let's just put all we got into it. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Fuck it. Let's give it to him.
Yeah,
good for him.
And I feel like they improved upon pretty much everything of the first one, except for that runtime. It was definitely a little over long.
I agree. The only nitpick besides the length was I was expecting that next gory kill more than what you got in the bedroom scene, because the first movie sets the stakes for like the goriest fucking kill you've ever seen in a movie. No spoilers, Randy. Watch that.
I've never seen the first one.
And so I was expecting a second gory ass kill. Like you got something kind of with the girl in the bathroom scene or whatever, but I mean it wasn't as
There's always
wild.
a girl in a bathroom that gets killed.
Yeah.
So
It's a
many
trope.
horror movies.
It seems
is.
that way.
Maybe
Yeah.
you gotta throw the trope in, right? Like,
I'm
hey,
not mad about it. You get boobies every once in a while,
Yeah,
but
true.
you know,
Did we in this movie? I don't.
not this one.
Well,
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything in Terrifier besides. Well,
Terrifier.
they like cutting skin off and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing as crazy as that one kill in the first one.
Just a hacksaw and a vagina. That's all I'm gonna say.
That sounds fantastic.
That's all you need to say.
That's all you need to know.
Ugh.
Go into that. Ugh. Anyways, let's get around to talking about what we're actually here to talk about today. The Usual Suspects. This was a movie that eluded me for a long-ass time. I remember a lot of people always talking about the big twist at the end of this movie, and it's one of the best cinematic twists there ever was. Randy's got things to talk about there. And it was just one of those, I don't know, it's always in media. Like, people were always saying Kaiser Sose, and like, I always saw the walk of somebody limping into not limping anymore and walking away from somewhere. And I'm like, I know what that's from, but am I sure? And then the movie started, and I went, son of a bitch.
This movie.
I know everything, and I don't
So
want to.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
We'll go with
Yeah.
it's the best twist. Yeah.
It's like I knew the name Kaiser Soze. I just never knew what it was from. And then after seeing the movie, the ending I recognized immediately because they used that same exact ending in Scary Movie. At the very end of Scary Movie is
That's
pretty
what
much
it's
the
from.
exact same. So I was like, oh, this seems very familiar from somewhere. And
That's
sure
funny.
enough,
I couldn't put that together in my brain. Thank you for telling me that, because I was like, what? I know this ending. I know I've seen it. And I remember Family Guy did something sort of familiar with the walk, like I was talking about, with him walking with a limp and then walking
Yeah.
away and not having the limp. I remember seeing that numerous times and other things as well as Family Guy. And then, like, again, Kaiser Sose and all this other stuff. And then I was like, I don't want to know that I know where this movie's going. I tried to turn my brain off watching it, but spoilers, it's Kevin Spacey.
It's also been years since it came out.
True.
So that's on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
95.
yeah, and I feel like I was kind of spoiled before because I feel like I've read something somewhere at some point where it just kind of stuck in my brain that it was Kevin Spacey, and the whole time during this movie, just as you're going through it and you see kind of watching what he's doing, you're like, he's kind of a little shady. There's something off about this dude. So I kind of knew the twist ahead of time, and so it kind of lessened the impact of it at the very end.
Yeah, and that was the same feeling I got, because it was like, would the movie have been way better without, going in completely blind, seeing it back in 95? Well, okay, this is going to sound a little, how do you get to that, right? Because we're watching it today in 2022, but if we saw it in 95, we're obviously not seeing anything else that's as good as this movie in that genre, right? Because what really has come before that? But if we take out all the stuff in the media about this movie, everybody's, knowing like what happened, and we watch it in today's eyes, would it still be as good as it was in 95? Without knowing the twist or knowing Kevin Spacey was Kaiser Sose and all that.
Yeah, I think it would have, but you would have needed some more stuff to the story. I feel like the story itself, like as I'm watching it, it was a good movie. I just feel like there wasn't enough going throughout the whole thing to kind of make it more exciting. I mean, it was kind of, you're just following these characters, going back and forth between him telling the story and then what's actually going on or what happened within the story that he's telling. But I feel like today, for modern audiences, you're going to have to make it a little bit more exciting, have more action pieces in there, or just some more stuff going on in general.
Yeah, that's funny. I said the exact same thing to you
Yeah.
halfway through the movie. I was like, or no, it was when the scene at the end at the boat finally happened and there's like actual action. I was like, you can't do this today because the audience is so
They're
ADHD.
expecting a lot.
They
more.
you need to pull them back in every 20 minutes with like an action scene or something. Not saying
Yeah.
enticing, but like this movie was boring, but it wasn't. Like if you're paying attention, it's not boring.
Yeah.
But if you're kind of like on your phone for a second or just not really paying attention to the dialogue, you're going to miss literally everything in the beginning, setting up why they're even the usual suspects in the line, and then what happens afterwards.
I still didn't get why they were. We watched it together.
Right. So basically, the story is they were randomly, chosen, right, off the street for whatever they were doing. And then they were brought into this lineup in front of a witness who we don't know for a crime to say, okay, who's the guy saying whatever motherfucker, whatever they're talking about, right? The line that they get on the piece of paper.
Yeah,
In reality,
yeah.
it was Kaiser Sose behind it all, making sure all these people came together to do this job because all those other people secretly or without knowing fucked over Kaiser Sose by stealing from him or whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
So Kevin Spacey orchestrated this huge plan.
How did he get the cops to do it?
Well,
The cops are the ones that brought him in.
Exactly. Everybody's either in his pocket or working for them, and they don't even know they're working for him, right? That's the whole thing that
Yeah.
Kobayashi
Okay.
was saying, right?
Because it all started with that. They said the
Good
truck
name.
that was full of guns that got jacked, and that's
Yeah.
originally why they brought everybody in, because they had like previous history with carjacking and theft and stuff like that. But from what you're saying, yeah, in the movie they say that each one of them had a past where they stole something from Kaiser Soze. And yeah, it's odd looking back on it after watching the movie. It makes you kind of want to go back and rewatch it again, just to kind of pick out the certain pieces. Like, how did he do this? Like, how would he even set all this up in the first place? Like, he has to be a genius.
Well, and I think they show that at the end by the big reveal, right? Where they're showing everything on that wall is literally him making up a story on the spot, somewhat real, possibly somewhat fake, with everything that's going on. Like Kobayashi, obviously that guy's real because he was there to pick him up. But was he that guy that he was explaining doing all this stuff? Or was that just his driver? Like, you don't know.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah, you don't know what's real or what's not.
That's what his name was. Oh,
Kobayashi, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy with the big nose.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or was it?
The
Because it had
very big
it was the name on the bottom of that
Yeah,
the
so
mug
it's
that
all
he
a
was
different
drinking
name.
out of.
Right.
So
Well,
it's like,
obviously, but that's
was
what
that
I'm
really his
saying.
name?
I think that's what the bigger point of the movie is Kevin Spacey's character literally just coming up with all this stuff on just sitting there, or did some of it happen and some of it didn't? You know what I mean? Or is it just all BS and he's just a mastermind of doing what he needed to do to get the fuck out of that cop shop and just go home?
Mm-hmm.
And then you never see him again.
Yeah, because I mean, I just watched it last night, and it's like, even thinking about it now, is like, what was the reason that he did all this in the first? Like, what was the point of him trying to get all these people killed? Did he just not like them, or what was the whole reason for him to do this, other than maybe just get out of jail? I don't know, because they said he already had immunity at that point when they were interviewing him at the police station. So it was like, what was his motivation of doing all this? Oh, maybe he just didn't like these guys. I don't know.
I'm thinking the story he's telling is 50-50, real and not real, right? Maybe the places and the people's names, besides the actual, people that he got killed at the boat, besides their names, everybody else is made up. Everything else that he's doing is made up. But the reason why Kobayashi went to these guys to give them the files of, look, everybody knows, this guy knows everything about us, he was telling the truth that these people, without knowing, stole from Kaiser Sose or did something.
Stole with a D?
Stole. I said stole.
There was a D at the end of that.
Whatever. Look, I'm trying to think. I'm
Damn it,
working.
Steve.
The gears are
Come
going
on
here.
now.
What I'm saying is, I think it is possibility that the story is true and fake at the same time. So there has to be a reason why he would want to kill these guys or lock them up or whatnot, or get them there. Maybe it has to do with he didn't have the means to get to the one guy that could sell him out on that ship. So he figured out the only way he knew how to get to that
That's
guy
what it was.
Was that.
Yeah.
I mean,
He got them all together so they could carry out the hit, because that person that was on the boat knew too much about. He was like the informant, the rat that they mentioned before. So yeah, that's what it was then.
Yeah,
But like you were saying, what else was true other than like certain little bits and pieces of it?
Right.
By the end of it, you feel like Charlie from It's Always Sunny trying to connect the dots in that room.
The whiteboard.
Yeah.
That's like the best meme from that goddamn show. But no, I mean, you're absolutely right. And I think that's the genius of the movie is you don't know what everything, what's real, what's fake, what actually happened or what, but it all makes sense. And you can sit here and be Charlie and like, look, I'm connecting these dots. We're trying to figure this out. And the movie works still without 100% knowing everything.
I feel like he almost got caught-ish, like kind of when he had to like come up with the very end where he was like, so you watched him die, but did you actually see him die? He was like, oh, fuck, I don't know what to do here, but he figured it out.
Yeah, and the one they kept showing the ropes or whatever, like
yeah.
that he was hiding behind it or something. I don't know why they kept showing that, and it kind of that threw me out a little bit. And I was like, are you trying to say like he's not there? Because again, I knew
Keaton.
right. Well, no, Kaiser Soze.
Verbal.
Like I knew that he was the guy in the beginning. Like the main throw off for me was the beginning of the movie. They show him light up a cigarette really nicely with his left hand and shoot him, sideways, kill shot. Right. The minute Verbal was fucking around with trying to light that thing and he drops it, I was like, well, yeah, that's him. And that just like 100% went, yeah, I know with everything else I've seen in the media.
You did say,
right?
I figured it out.
Right. But I didn't want to tell you. And I was like, yeah, this is it. So that's why I was just like, all right, so I know that's him, but why are they showing that rope scene or that whatever, all that stuff stacked on top of it? Like, what was the symbolism behind that, or what was the reasoning for it?
I still don't know.
No one knows.
Maybe they just made it seem like he was the one. Just that's how he saw everything happen. Is he was hiding behind those ropes, and then he saw like whoever murdered Keaton on there on the boat. He was the one. He witnessed it from that location. That's why he mentioned like how Keaton told him to stay behind when I went in to do the job.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe that's why he was just kind of saying like that's how I saw it. I was trying to get away. I was behind those ropes, and I saw him kill Keaton at that point.
Smart.
Yeah. And it does I like his story of how he doesn't even go with like that Keaton could be Kaiser Soze. Like he even says like when the cop's like, yo, it's probably him. He's like, I mean, I don't think so. And it's like if you were Kaiser Soze, right? If I was him, I'd be like, yeah, it's fucking him.
He probably didn't want to give the credit to anybody else.
Yeah, he
Well,
wants the
didn't want
credit.
anyone to figure it out.
That's a good thought too. And what I mean, that's
If you were doing all that, would you want somebody else to take the credit for it? Like, no, bitch, that was me. But you can't say it because you're going to jail.
right.
Yeah.
But
I'd be like, no, it wasn't him.
But they know. Once I leave and get in that car and drive away,
they know.
Yeah.
Good luck finding them.
But the thing is, like, I know that at the end of the movie, they're like, well, they're going to get away. Kaiser Soze is going to get away and you're never going to find him. But it's like, they immediately found out as he left the police station. I feel like they can definitely find him before he gets on a plane or on a boat. They can hunt him down. Like, I feel like he's not going to be just vanishing without a trace.
It is 1995, right? So
that is true.
Chances of him getting away are a little bit better then. But only that cop worked it out. He didn't go, hey, that's the guy. He just ran outside, right? So maybe him trying to put it all together, like, yo, he said this, he said that, he said that. Yeah, they have it on tape, and they keep showing that they have it on tape. But can he corroborate that to say, like, yo, this guy's just making all this up? Because all they know is this dude is handicapped, and they have warrants for his arrests and everything, and he's been arrested. They got him in New York or something. Remember they said the handicapped guy from New York and all this stuff. Like, it's well done. There's not a lot
as
of
far as they
potholes.
know is like he just lied to him. That's all they know. They don't have anything really just tying him to everything.
Right.
So
and
like, what are they going to prove if they do catch him?
right, and he could say I was lying because I'm afraid of Kaiser Soze. You know what I mean? Like and he's making this story up. Like who's to even say the story about him killing his family and like all those people is even real too, right? Like I'm pretty sure it wasn't. It might have showed something on the board as well about that. That's a good thing to say, like, yo, I'm afraid of this guy, and that's why I'm lying, right? And I have immunity.
I think that was
you
just
can't get me.
I think it was just the backstory he made up to kind of make Kaiser Soze as scary, like the boogeyman to all these people, as scary as possible. So he made up one of the craziest stories.
I like how they
kind of scare people.
Yeah, I like how they made him look like Spanish in that scene too, with like the long hair, like he looked like Bandito
He looks
or
like
something.
a Desperado,
Right.
Antonio Banderas. Yeah,
I just wanted to see him with the long hair walking
Yeah.
out of that scene after he killed him, just Kevin Spacey and like,
but it's like the '90s. All they have to go off of is that like sketch drawing that they had of him at the very end. Is like to send that out to all the police stations. Like, this is the guy we're looking for. It's like you go out on the street, you could find like 20 people that look like that.
Yeah. I do like how the sketch didn't look exactly like Kevin
close,
Spacey. It was
yeah.
close, but it was still enough to be like, are we sure?
Yeah.
So that could have been a good, like, yo, you're using a translator to talk to a guy to explain, then to tell this person how to draw. I was like, that's still pretty good, but it's not close. I thought that was super realistic as well.
It's
so.
impressive.
It really is.
So who were all these actors?
We're going to get to that. Hold on. So we're as we always do here.
I forget some of them.
I forget some. We always get
Full
off
of
the
a
rails.
bunch of guys that are like, hey, I know him from somewhere.
Yeah,
that guy,
I had a lot of those moments. I was like, what the fuck?
So real quick, so what this movie is about? We jumped over
I
that.
thought we already did that.
No,
movie.
we did not.
Or
What is this movie called?
The Usual
The
Suspects.
Usual Suspects. What The Usual Suspects is
It's about the usual suspects.
Right, yeah. A sole survivor tells a tale of a twist events leading up to a horrific gun battle on a boat, which began when 5 criminals met at a seemingly random police lineup. So again, it wasn't random. See, seemingly random.
It wasn't random.
Where to watch? If you have a
It
subscription,
seemed like they all knew each other. Like they may have all worked together at some point.
Well,
Like
so
they
when
all
they're-
were pretty aware of who one another are.
Yeah, when they're in the jail cell in the beginning, they are talking to each other like, "Hey, this guy used to be huge, and he got away from it, and it turns out he was a cop, and then got off the force, and then was doing all this stuff behind the scenes." So I feel like it's a criminal underground kind of thing. Like they do know of each other, but they haven't worked together yet. Then they start working together, and they do a couple jobs together, and we see that.
Well, they said like the McManus. I mean, we'll get to the characters, but like McManus and Benicio del Toro's character, they worked together for like 5 years or something. They said at one point in the movie is like, I've been working with him for 5 years.
Right.
So it's like at least 2 or 3 of them have worked together in some capacity at some point, but yeah, not like all the time. Because they all have their own things going on, as you see at the beginning of the movie when they're getting like rounded up and put in the police custody.
Right. Yeah. So you can watch this with a subscription to Amazon Prime. You can rent it on YouTube.
me. Oh, wait, I watched it for
you
free
watch it
on
with
my-
you
you're
watch
right,
it at
you're
my
right,
house.
you're
What the fuck? You can rent it on YouTube, Vudu, Google Play, Apple TV, and Redbox because Redbox is still a thing. It was written.
Is it?
It is. Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because some people, Randy, aren't as fortunate as others,
You're right.
and they have to go and
sorry.
rent DVDs
I forgot.
or Blu-ray. I think Redbox actually has a streaming service too. So.
Speaking of people that can
think,
afford things,
yeah.
I bought some guy coffee today
Oh yeah.
out of nowhere.
Do you feel good about that?
He couldn't afford $3 for coffee. I was like, you know what? I got you, buddy.
I got
I got $2 off.
you.
I was like, fucking sucks.
Let me help you out, but I'm getting a discount. Jesus Christ. The Usual Suspects was written by Christopher McQuarrie. He's also written Valkyrie, Jack Reacher, Edge of Tomorrow, Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, the newest Mission Impossible, the 2 new ones that are coming out that have been announced, The Mummy in 2017, and Top Gun Maverick.
Goddamn.
I want you to put the pieces together in your brain real quick. What is the overreaching thing that connects all those movies?
Just balls out action movies? Is that what you mean?
Maybe, or a certain person.
In all those movies?
Who's
Tom
in-
Cruise?
Thank you. Tom Cruise is in every one of those
Oh,
movies.
he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
don't
this
know why I didn't put
guy,
that together.
yeah, I don't know. This guy has written pretty much every like Tom Cruise movie that's been a big blockbuster.
Well,
Damn, that's crazy.
a lot of people would say that other Mission Impossibles were not big
So he didn't do
blockbusters.
the first 3, but he did all the other ones after that. Those are huge. Henry Cavill's in one of.
I love all of them. I love Tom
Yeah.
Cruise. I don't care.
Ghost
I love his
Protocol
movies.
was probably one of the biggest ones whenever it came out. That's one of my favorites out of the series.
It's a good one.
This is going to date me. My favorite is Mission Impossible 2.
That's a good one too.
When they have
They're
the-
all good.
When
It's
they
not
have
bad, man.
when they have a duel with fucking motorcycles. Come on.
Fuck, I haven't seen it so
It's
long.
a lot of people give that movie shit, but it's a guilty pleasure for me as well. That's one I watched the most when I was younger.
It's a perfect
It's just
early
crazy.
2000s over the top. Like Charlie's Angels came out and then that did and you're like, all right.
Yeah, so like the whole DVD thing, like we were kind of poor for a little bit.
Okay.
So all I had to do was watch these DVDs we already had. And it was the Mission Impossibles that already came out in the box set and Rush Hour.
Okay.
I watched
Rush
those
Hour 1?
fucking 1, 2, and 3? Yeah,
There's
yeah,
only
yeah.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
So all of them.
Yeah.
Great movies.
Yeah.
Chimonly.
That's all I had.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that. I guess.
Yeah.
This is directed by Bryan Singer, who's also directed X-Men, X2, X3, X-Men First Class,
So X-Men.
all the X-Men
Okay,
movies,
yeah.
except for the last one that came out, Dark Phoenix. He didn't do that one. He's also directed Superman Returns and Star Trek Nemesis. Again, there's other movies these people have done. These are just the most
I'm glad
notable
you
ones.
bring it to like today's world.
That's what I'm
So
trying
I
to
know
do.
what's happening.
Yeah,
And then
son of a-
Bohemian Rhapsody came out a year or two ago.
Oh, that's right.
he
Yeah, I
directed
didn't.
that one
I
as
did
well.
not write that
I
one
didn't
down.
watch the movie.
It's-
I fucking hate.
You don't like Queen?
I didn't see it either.
Hate Queen.
Hold on.
The Queen and
That's
the Beatles,
crazy, man.
fuck them. Fuck them both.
That's a bigger offense for me, man. The Beatles are my favorite band.
So
Why?
I can hold
Why?
on. Hold
Why
on,
are they your
hold on,
favorite band?
Hold on. I can understand the hate for the Beatles because you had to be around to feel their presence, right? Now today you're like, all right, they're not that good, but they laid the groundwork for everything that came after them. So you have to respect what they did at a time when nobody was doing any of that. And
I don't have
then
to respect shit.
you could do whatever
It's
you
gotten
want.
better since then. A lot better.
The Beatles helped
And I'm
it.
not going to say they fucking paved the way for everything else either, because they didn't.
They did.
Did they?
They did.
Like
They did.
what?
Just like Elvis Presley made rock and roll, they made their
Well,
genre.
he's a king.
Okay. Who's better, Elvis Presley or the Beatles?
Elvis.
Beatles.
The Beatles.
Fuck both of you.
How many hits had the Beatles had, and how much money did the Beatles make compared to Elvis? I know it's not about numbers, but in reality, it is. The Beatles
You're
had
making it about
more.
numbers. I don't care about them.
I don't care about that.
Beatles wrote their own songs too.
That's, yeah.
They go back to the UK.
Elvis Presley just ripped off black people in the early 40s. 40s? 50s? I don't know.
Something
Every one of his
around then.
hits, yeah, sure, around that. Every one of the Elvis's hits were just covers. Hound Dog. That's the only one I got.
I'm not an
Blue
Elvis
suede
fan,
shoes.
so
Blue
I'm
suede
the wrong
shoes.
person to ask on that one.
Yeah, no. So, anyways, this movie is starring Kevin Spacey as Verbal. No spoilers there, just Verbal.
Okay.
Gabriel Byrne as Keaton. Chaz Palminteri as Dave Cajun or Cogin? No, Cujin. Whatever. He was the main cop guy.
Cajun.
Cujo.
He was the guy that was interrogating Verbal. We also got Stephen Baldwin as McManus, Benicio del Toro as Fenster, Kevin Pollak as Hockney. I'm gonna fuck this name up. Pete Pastelowait as Kobayashi, and Giancarlo Esposito as Jack Bear.
Steve Baldwin
Gus
has...
Fring.
Yes, Gus Fring. That dude. It took me a second. I was like, wait a second. I know this guy.
Who?
Where the fuck is this guy from? And then it hit me. And I was like, oh my God, it's Gus Fring. Oh my God, it's the dude from Far Cry. Oh my God, it's the guy that's the bad guy in fucking The Boys.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad, too. Yeah, like, so, like,
Yeah.
The black dude?
yeah. I wasn't going to say the black
I've
dude, but
never-
thanks.
I've never seen him in anything like that early in
Right.
his career. Like I've only seen more of his recent stuff.
He had that suave, like, goatee going with a nice mustache. I'm like, who is this guy? He had the nice
Slick
hat
fade
on.
and
right.
everything, man.
And
Yeah,
I was like, I know
doesn't
this
even
guy.
look like how he looks now.
And his voice was similar, but yeah, it wasn't as, like, deep and, like, ominous. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Was he the one in the ER?
yeah, he was the
That was
FBI
him?
guy. Yeah.
I didn't even look like him.
Well, because, I mean, this
Yeah,
is
I
I
95.
mean, he had all this shit on, but I mean, like, even like compared to from that scene to the other scene where I actually saw him in a suit, still didn't look like him. I didn't know until the suit part.
I agree.
Yeah, he had like
That's weird.
that nice like slick goatee
Yeah.
and fade and everything. He looked way different than you're used to seeing him.
My man was looking great.
Well, now he's just looking gray.
Yeah. Yeah. This is rated R for violence and substantial amount of strong language. I've never seen a rating say that.
Was there?
Was there? They go through the lineup
They
saying
did say
"suck my."
they say cocksucker
right.
a lot.
What was it like? "Fuck you, motherfucker," sucker, or something cocksucker, and they're
Fuck
all
you,
just like,
cocksucker.
yeah.
But I feel
Something
like
like that.
it's still like nothing compared to some of the other movies that were out at that time, like Boondock Saints or like South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, and a bunch of the other stuff that was released. Like I don't think it was anywhere close to some of those movies as far as like substantial, language and profanities.
Well, when we get to the fun facts, I may have a count for how many fucks there are said in this movie, and it
Okay.
will.
I didn't think it was that many.
It will astound you
I didn't think it was that many.
Oh wow!
more than
Yeah, I
you
didn't think it was that
maybe
many.
maybe I think it is cussed too much.
Yeah, that's probably
Light.
what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it just sounds normal.
You know why? You know what's really cool though? After I moved out of my parents' house, this was some years ago because I'm an old guy now.
33.
All I did was just, say fuck this, fuck that, whatnot. And my parents would always, you need to watch your language. You need to stop, right? And then I met Tiffany, and my current wife,
She's got a
my
mouth.
current wife, her mouth is just as bad as
mouth.
mine, right? So once I brought her around my parents, my mom starts swearing now all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at her like, what the fuck, Mom? You're going to get mad at me, but you're saying, fuck this bitch, and like all this stuff. All that. Yeah, it's funny. And you know my parents.
You know,
They're the
but I don't
sweetest.
think I've ever heard your dad really cuss.
So my dad doesn't unless he's mad. And then
Oh,
it's
good for him.
But it's funny and then you laugh, and then he gets even madder because you're laughing at him. So then he gets mad at you, and then starts cussing you out, and then it gets even funnier, and you can't not laugh at that. And yeah, it's just a never-ending
I love your
cycle.
parents. They're fucking amazing.
My parents are some of the nicest human beings you'll ever
They
meet,
are.
and I'm just an asshole. So
Yeah. I don't know where you got it from.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know either.
Runtime on
Pretty long.
The Usual Suspects. Honestly, it wouldn't for this type of
135.
movie. Nope.
Longer?
Nope.
What?
It was 106
Like an hour and
minutes.
40?
Fuck me.
Yeah, it seemed longer because there wasn't a lot really going on in certain parts. But again, it was all dialogue.
Jesus. I felt like it was a lot longer.
See, I didn't feel like it. I felt like it went by pretty fast because I was locked in. I was just trying to figure it out as it was going, or who was what and what was going on. Just kind of put the pieces together. But I feel like just because I was locked in, and even though there wasn't as many like action set pieces like what we mentioned earlier, I feel like it was very well paced in my opinion. I know that to some other people it may not seem like that though, because it is a majority of just talking.
Yeah.
I think it was very well paced. You got to think there was the scene at the beginning where there is action, right? I mean, they show the boat blowing up, they show the guy getting shot, they show some other stuff. Then they lay it out for a little bit and talk about what's going on. Then they show the other jobs that they were doing. Then they even show the first kind of job that they did, right, where all 4 vans come together and get that cop car.
Which was smart.
That was a great scene.
Yeah.
And again, to me, you're right. It was very well paced. Like everything happened in spurts almost to get you like right when you're like, all right, what's going on? Like, boom, they would bring me back in.
They never really hold on anything for too long. They're always jumping back and forth from either like the story that he's telling back to the police station where he's talking with the cop or to something else. It's always kind of jumping back and forth.
Right. And I did like how they were kind of going through different time periods too, right? Like you had them in the cop shop, the cells or whatnot. Then you had them, doing the lineup right after. Then you had him telling the story, which is at the end of it. Then talking about things before the boat thing, then talking about the boat thing, then going back again, and
It
like
did
all
get
this stuff.
confusing at one point, though. I remember talking to you about it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know where we are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was still.
I feel like it was more confusing like in the first like 25 minutes, half hour, because they were throwing a lot of it on you at once, going back and forth. But about close to that midway point of the movie, you start hitting that stride where, okay, you're just going back and forth between the regular, the stories telling and the police station. You're not really dealing with everything else. But that first like quarter of the movie, it's pretty jarring with how much they're throwing at you with the different time periods and what's going on.
I think it took me a lot longer than that.
Yeah, it was Game of Thrones-esque to me, first season, where they're throwing names and places out, and you're like, hold on, who is this person?
I still only know like 3 names in that movie.
Well, and that's the thing. Like they're saying McManus and Verbal and all these people, and you're like, which one's which, and who's this guy and who's that guy now? And they're talking about Red Shoes and Kobayashi and all this stuff. And you're like, who the fuck? Or Redwood or what is it? Red Shoes. What?
I know
Redwood. Redwood. Red Shoes is
Redwood or
Redwood.
Red Roof or something like that.
Red Roof Inn?
maybe.
Going to the hotel?
Okay.
I only know McManus, Kaiser Sose, and Keaton.
Okay.
That's all I got.
I guess. Well,
Still.
and those are the main.
I mean,
real
besides
characters you
Verbal,
need. Yeah, sure, but
which-
that's Kaiser Soze.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoilers,
Shit.
oh,
Yeah. But
They kind of make you think that like Keaton's the main character of the movie for a little while.
And yeah, and that plays into what happens at the end of them being like, "Yo, no, did you see him get shot? He is Kaiser Sose." Like, and it's well done. Like if I did not know the walk that's a limp turning into a regular walk, I would have been. That makes sense.
Yeah, thank you for not telling me.
I was going to, and I was like,
I felt it coming, and I was like, oh, he's going to tell me. I'm not going to be mad about it, but I'm glad you didn't.
No. I ain't gonna ruin it for you. I'm not that guy.
I mean, I figured it out at the end, obviously.
Well, they
Unlike the irritable dad syndrome's wife
oh, Jesus.
not figuring it out.
That's
Or
funny.
she knew it
throwback.
too soon.
I guess we gotta give context to that.
Yeah.
So we there's another podcast we've guested on. They've guested on here. We were on. It was the They Live episode. We reviewed They Live. We did we did an extra reel with They Live.
Extra
That's
real.
right.
Yeah.
And the guys from the Irritable Dad Syndrome, great podcast. If you haven't checked them out at Irritable Dad Syndrome. And they were telling us a story of, I don't know how we got on The Usual Suspects. And again,
Are we off the reels like we always do?
right, well, but again, like, I hadn't seen it, you hadn't seen it
Yeah.
at this point, and they start going into this like long story about how in college they watched it, and there was a girl that they were with that I guess turned into his wife, who did not understand the ending.
Yeah.
And they said, we stayed up all night trying to go over it and tell him about this and try to make it, like, explain it to her, and she just didn't get it. At the end of this movie, or halfway through it, I looked at him and was like, what is that person not getting?
Yeah, but that turns
Yeah.
out she fucking figured it out way too soon, so she was just confused by the ending on why it was confusing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, good for her, but, like, also, come on now.
Right. So she's like, I'm so smart that I got it, so
Yeah.
why is this a big deal?
Yeah. Yeah, unlike the Sixth Sense. Because that was better twist than this one. I wanted to say that earlier.
I mean, you can say it now.
It's a lot better twist.
It is.
My jaw
because-
didn't
yeah.
drop during this one.
I got you. But also, you kind of knew, right? Where in Sixth Sense, there's nothing until you watch it back that's cueing you in to say,
Even this one, they weren't.
spoilers, he's dead the whole time.
If you haven't seen the movie, you fucked up.
Oh, no.
Oh my God. I watched it when I was 21. My jaw dropped. My person at the time was just looking at me,
Like, what are you...
waiting for me to like
she's-
realize.
That person knew.
Yeah.
And then she
saw
was
it.
like-
she was like, you haven't seen this?
Right.
I was like, no, I haven't seen it. And she was like, oh, we're getting it.
It's a good twist. It's
Yeah.
definitely a great twist.
Those are
'cause
some of the
it's-
best like times of watching like movies with friends that like they don't know about the twist. Like I remember watching From Dusk Till Dawn with a buddy that's didn't know anything about it, and
Oh, I
then
love
like
it.
as soon as the vampires come out and everything, he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like this
Oh, yeah.
was like a robbery type movie, and they're on the trying to get away, going on the lam, and now there's vampires. Like what the hell is going on?
Right. It's such a good twist, too, because it literally comes out of nowhere. Like, you're like, okay, this movie, Dusk Till Dawn, sure. It's great. All of a sudden, vampires? What? I'm in, you know? So there's another movie, too, that I think, albeit it's not in your face, but it's a movie. My favorite type of movie is where you have to watch it again to fully get the movie. And
Yeah.
the movie is called The Prestige. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to ruin anything for it, but it's one of the best
Yeah.
movies, I think, of the last 15 to 20 years that makes it basically shows you a movie and you watch it and you're like, holy shit, that's awesome. But then you watch it again and the movie is completely different the second time because of what happens at the end. So you're seeing things in a different perspective, and the movie's a completely different movie, and it's almost better the second time. And then you get done the second time, you're like, wait a second, let me watch that one more time. The third time is where everything makes sense. Some people will sit there and say, well, I don't want to watch a movie 3 times to get it, which, okay, sure, that's fine. You don't need to. But if you want to experience a movie and, like, be in that world and, like, take everything in, that's the movie to literally sit down and, like, just absorb.
Yeah. I love those kinds of movies too. That's why like I'm a huge fan of David Lynch, because you could do that so many times with his movies, and even by like the 4th time you're like, I have no clue what's the fuck's happening. My opinion has changed from the last 3 and I still have no idea what's going on.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. I tried to do a rewatch of Twin Peaks, the original.
It's a show,
I
right?
love
want to
Twin
say
Peaks.
I want to say, when was that? Maybe 3 or 4 years ago when it like came back to Netflix. And I watched it when it like, maybe not when it first aired, because I would have been too young to even, not to see it, but like, you know,
Care.
to even know that it
Yeah.
was on. But I want to say mid-90s I watched it, maybe 98, and I just remember being like enthralled with it. But again, I was younger, so I didn't really like understand it, but I liked it. And then I watched it again. I was like, holy shit, everybody's so overacting, and it's amazingly bad good, if that makes sense. Like,
So every other thing that you
Yeah.
like.
okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I'm a big proponent of, if I know your movie's bad on purpose, but you're leaning into it, I enjoy
You
it.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my
It
jam.
was making fun of a lot of like those soap operas at the time.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like, I hate movies that are trying to be bigger or better than they are, and they're
Mhm.
not stepping back a
Like,
second.
They don't know that they're not that good.
Right. Like, hey, we
They
got
think,
to...
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm the shit.
Right.
This is great. Yeah.
No, I want a movie that says, like, yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And then they look at the camera like, see,
Yeah.
this sucks, but
Yeah.
you're here. Right. Like, I want that. So that's why, like, any B movie that comes out, it could be the worst thing I've ever seen. As long as it's tongue-in-cheek bad, it's great. And at the end of the day, what are you watching a movie for? Entertainment? Is it entertaining? Yeah. Was it good? No, but I was entertained. So what's wrong with that?
Yeah, it did its job.
Exactly. The Usual Suspects was released first at the Sundance Film Festival on January 25th, 1995, then was released wide August 16th, 1995.
Oh, 8 months later.
That's my birthday, man. I didn't know that.
Look at that. Happy birthday in August of the 16th.
That's
All right.
crazy.
Budget time.
Okay.
We're going to guess what we think it costs to make this movie.
Fuck.
We're going to go to Randy first
I'm
since he knows the rules.
I'm thinking.
He's thinking.
Explain the rules to him.
The rules are, what do you think it costs to make this movie?
Fuck. That was enough time. Fuck. It's probably not that much, honestly.
Well, think about it.
I'm going 73.
What?
73.
$73 million to make this movie in 1995.
Not million. Where am I at?
I don't know where you're at.
What?
Did you say 73 or 7.3? I don't know what you said.
No.
No.
Fuck me.
I'm going to help you out.
Yes,
it's not
please.
$73 million.
Yeah, I know it's not million.
73
What's the average? What do we normally do
Well, okay, so
for a movie like this?
I can't
Gimme.
give you
Are we in the-
context clues, but I can say that our average or our median of movies with what we've kind of covered over the last 97 episodes, I would say would be anywhere between 20 to 45 million, right? But you have the outliers that are like in the hundreds of millions, and then you have some that are like, I don't know, $1 million, where you're like, holy shit, they made that for $1 million. So
Yeah.
let me paint a better picture for you. How about this? 1995. Stephen Baldwin's sort of a big deal.
Is he?
Kevin Spacey, sort of a big deal.
Yeah, is he?
Kevin Spacey
I
is
want to
a-
go back. No, I want to
Okay.
go back to Stephen Baldwin.
Okay, Stephen
Stephen
Baldwin would be the B tier of Baldwins.
Alec.
Right. Alec is the A tier.
Well,
right.
probably not
Stephen,
anymore, but-
and then no, I mean,
Well, he
We're-
did some. He did
Was,
a thing.
was the Flintstones before or after this?
the Flintstones would be after
Because he
this.
played
Why?
like Barney in that one, right?
But he was
The
Barney
second one or
in
the first
the
one?
second one. So
Stephen Baldwin did?
Yeah.
Stephen
Okay.
Baldwin was Barney in the Viva Rock Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. He was also in another sequel movie. There's a movie called Slapshot, which I know you haven't seen.
That's
Paul Newman was in it from the 70s. You know who
Cool.
Paul Newman is.
do
You never bought like any Newman's Own organic food? You've never seen
No.
Newman's Own like salad dressing?
No.
You don't go shopping, do
Is it
you?
organic?
Yeah, it's
Do I
organic
look like
stuff.
I eat organic stuff?
No, well, I mean, it's not like oh my God, this is organic. You can only get it at Whole Foods. It's like just like an organic type thing that is kind of big. You can buy at Walmart. I know you
Nope.
shop at Walmart.
Yep.
All right, whatever.
I'm going 43 million.
43 million.
Yep.
Look at that. That's where we got.
There we
to.
go.
All right.
I'm gonna go lower.
bad.
I'm gonna go like 16 million.
That's probably smart. I'm really bad at this game. So
He's really bad at
Yeah.
this game. Yeah. For our normal episodes, so when we're not doing the extra reel or how have you not seen this, we normally have two other hosts, and they're pretty much way better than Randy is
Yeah.
at this game. But for this game, you're both wrong. The budget, $6 million.
Oh my gosh! Wow. I
Right.
thought mine was a low ball. no.
When I read that, I was like, let me research some more.
Okay, so our budget's usually in the millions.
Well, it would be millions, yeah. Most movies
Normally.
are
Is
millions.
anything ever in like the hundreds of thousands?
Yeah, there's been a couple movies that we've done
Like
on
budget?
Independently, and
Yeah.
just like back in the 70s type stuff.
So like the bad ones.
like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The first one was probably like $500,000.
Yeah.
Not even that. Blair
Hol-
Witch,
Halloween
I think was like 20,000.
300,000.
Right.
yeah, so that's what fucks me up. I think of all those movies.
Well, don't.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like
So any movie that has like major studio backing, okay, is going to have millions of dollars for the budget. So think about this next time: is when did this movie come out? Who was in it? And how many locations or special effects are in it? Right. If you're going to a lot of locations, you're going to have to have
more money.
a B team to go to some
Yeah.
locations, right? So that's more money.
Mm-hmm.
If it seems like it's taking longer to make this movie because there are so many scenes, well, you got to pay more to be to different places, to feed people, to do what you need to do. If there's a lot of special effects, more money, right? Like if there's more explosions, if you're looking at Fast Five, I know I always say Fast Five to you,
I know.
but I think that's what you see in your brain is the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, and then
So, like-
lastly, normally they incorporate like the promotion and all that stuff into the budget as well,
Exactly.
like
so
marketing.
Like Dodge, because America.
America, yeah. So he brought up a great point there too, right? So your marketing has a budget as well. Sometimes people will spend just as much on marketing as they do the movie, right?
Oh yeah.
So it might cost you $20 million to make this movie. Well, they're spending $20 million on marketing.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's fucking wild.
So that's all included.
Yeah.
It's like an all-inclusive deal.
All inclusive.
I'm going right
One
down to
ticket,
Cancun.
yeah.
You're good to go.
You get the food, the
Okay.
drink,
Cool.
the room service.
Okay.
Getting a little
You get
towel,
the free ride.
get a free ride.
You get a limo driver for that.
Anything,
Yeah.
all inclusive.
Okay.
Right. So, all right, box office. What do we think it made in theaters overall?
I'm gonna go ahead and raise myself 100 thou. So 143.
100,000? 143,000?
I was at 43 million. So 143.
143 million.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
yes.
yes.
Remember, we're talking
Hundreds.
millions.
Yes, yes.
Millions.
Million.
Yeah, gotcha. Why? What are you thinking over there?
So it was made for $6 million. I'm gonna go to your original guess. I'm gonna go. It made $43 million.
43. Oh, all right. Overall, its opening weekend. We'll do that first. Its opening weekend, it made $640,000.
Fuck me.
Oh Jesus!
Think about that for a
was like
second.
a big movie.
Think about that for a second. 640,000 for this
Not
movie
even
with these
close.
people in it, and it's regarded as a fucking classic right
You
now.
could do that in just Maryland alone.
Yeah. We're in Maryland, by the way.
I bet like the studios after opening weekend were freaking out.
There's
Like,
no
what
way
do
they
we
weren't.
do? We
There's
spent
no way.
even though we spent $6 million on this, we're not even close to return, like getting up to our budget,
Fucking
like making our
close.
money back.
Jesus.
A little bit of good news. The overall box office was $67 million.
Oh
I guess
wow!
they had their money back. That's
So
good.
word of mouth
That word of
traveled
mouth
a little
got out
bit.
there, yeah.
Yeah. So, after its peak, which was at week 5, it was doing $3 million a week. But it took till week 5 to get to that, and that's the highest it's ever got was the 5th.
Those people
movie.
were selling shit. They were like, I'm not making any money off this movie. I lost so much.
Right.
Take my car.
Right.
I don't care.
I don't need this second
Yeah.
house.
No, fuck that.
Stephen Baldwin's like talking to his brother Alec. Like, hey man, what do you you got any money for me? What's the other brother? I said it the other day. There's Alec, Stephen, Bobby.
Bobby.
Bobby
Yeah,
Baldwin.
yeah.
Bobby
That's a better
Baldwin.
name.
Bobby Baldwin.
I would watch a movie.
Yeah, you
with
don't see
Bobby
him too
Baldwin.
much.
You don't. He's weird
Has he
looking.
done anything? Does he
He's
not look like
been-
them?
I mean, he does, but he looks like
Oh, I get it.
he looks like
You don't have
both
to
of them
say it.
together.
I get it.
Weirdly,
I get it.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
Because Steve Baldwin, right?
yeah.
That's the one.
Stephen Baldwin.
He looks like a John Travolta, Alec Baldwin mix, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying there.
It's kinda weird.
With a hangover.
With a hangover, it's always got a hangover. Every movie he's ever been in, he's got like that. Hey guys,
Yeah.
I just fucking woke up.
Looks tired as hell.
You got any Advil? Fuck.
It's me every weekend.
Right.
Got it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do the top 10 that week. So what was in theaters? We're not guessing. I'm just going through it, and then when we get to the top 3, though,
Yes, the top 3.
I'm gonna give you the top 3 movies in no particular order, and then you're going to say, I think it's 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
You son of a
Okay.
bitch.
Yes, you son of a bitch.
Number 10, one of my personal 90s favorite kid movies, A Kid in King Arthur's Court.
Nope.
I know you haven't seen it.
I don't
Nope.
think I've seen that one.
Oh man, it's great. It's got the guy
I've heard
from
of it.
American Pie is the lead guy in it. This kid. So you've seen Rookie of the Year, right?
Yeah.
Where the kid breaks his arm, and like because he broke his arm, he's got like the fastest pitch in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Same kid. This movie came out like 6 months later, and it was basically him like somehow going back in time to King Arthur, and then like doing a whole bunch of shit with it. It's really good for
What
a
is it
for a
called?
kids movie.
What did you say it was
A
called?
Kid in King Arthur's Court. Keep going. This
Yeah, I've
motherfucker.
definitely heard of it. I've never seen it though.
It's honestly, if you liked, like I said, Rookie of the Year, it's the same kind of comedy, same kind of like. I think it might be like the same people made the movie. I just remember.
That wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah, right. I remember going to the library and renting all these movies. So I'd
It's got
rent.
Daniel
like,
Craig in it?
He's got Daniel Craig in it. Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
This movie just went
That's
up.
an early Daniel Craig movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Master Kane.
Master Kane. Michael Caine. Number 9, The Babysitter's Club.
Is that a Breakfast
That's a
Club
great,
knockoff?
No, that's a great movie. You haven't seen that.
Oh,
goddamn.
we're in the 90s. I was born in 95. I haven't
You
seen
you were
any of
born
these
this year,
movies.
yeah. Goddamn. Number 8, Apollo 13.
Okay, that's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
It's not,
Randy,
not one I would like rewatch all the time, but it's okay.
Randy's like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Nope.
Tom
That's
Hanks.
about the moon landing, right?
About the moon landing. No, actually, it's not.
What?
It's about the one that didn't get to the moon.
Oh,
Great
whatever.
movie, though.
I don't know history either.
Oh. You don't? What do you know?
Not much, man.
Not much. I know I'm here right now. No, Apollo 13 actually is a good movie, but you're
I think
right,
I've heard of
Wyatt.
it,
When
yeah.
you're like, it's not something like I want to put on. I think
Mhm.
it's super long too. It's like 2:30 or
Yeah.
something. So, but a lot of good people are in it. It's a good movie. It's just like watch Armageddon instead.
Yeah, at that point, might as well. Unless you're going through like a Tom Hanks like phase or like a marathon.
Right. You
There's
got to hit
really
all
no
the good
reason
Tom
to,
Hanks
to break
ones.
out Apollo 13.
Goddamn. Number 7, The Net. Sandy. It's a
Net?
Sandy movie.
course it
Sandra
is.
Bullock. Yeah.
Fuck her.
I love Sandy.
Still don't like her.
All right. Number 6. This is just for you, Babe.
That the pig one?
Pig in the
Yeah.
City.
That's the pig one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because what did you say to me today? That'll do. And I sent you a
That'll
pig.
do, pig.
Is that
Oh, you just got it.
Is it?
Oh,
was that Babe you sent me?
that wasn't Babe. It was just
Oh,
a pig
I didn't
winking
think
at
so.
you.
It was kind of weird. I liked that. I saw it on my watch. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Number 5. If somebody was sitting beside me, Wally, one of his favorite all-time movies, Waterworld.
Oh, I fucking love that movie.
There you go.
how you
That's
say it.
One of the
yeah.
biggest like box office bombs ever, right?
It is. Kevin Costner was in that movie. It cost like
Mhm.
$300 million or something to make, and it was just a bland. I know Wally's not going to listen to this. It was a piece of shit. It's not good.
I hope he listens to this.
No.
He won't. He's gonna call me
He's
like,
not gonna-
"What the
you
fuck,
son
man?
of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. I heard what you said about Waterworld.
We're not friends anymore. Waterworld's the best." No, I get where he's
You guys
coming
would
from.
never not be friends. I saw
You're
that
right.
picture in your office.
You like it?
The besties frame.
Yeah. He got that for me.
Adorable.
I know. We graduated high school, and I don't. Oh, I know who took that picture. My wife watches this. My ex-girlfriend took that picture.
Yeah.
And we graduated high school that night, and the picture is both me and him with our diplomas, like it's pretty
It
stupid,
was cute.
but
I liked it.
yeah. So it's yeah,
Adorbs.
adorable. Whatever. My best friend. So number 4, something to talk about.
Sounds
Yeah, me neither.
familiar. I don't think I've ever seen it.
I know the song because I play it.
Yeah, I know the song.
I play it in Tara's band.
Something to talk about.
All right.
What? Step Brothers.
Is it in Step Brothers? Oh,
Sounds like it would be like a romantic comedy or something. Something I
probably
wouldn't
is.
watch.
watch it be Sandy as well. Why
Yeah.
not? All right, top 3 in no particular order. Dangerous Minds, A Walk in the Clouds, Mortal Kombat.
I thought the Mortal Kombat movie sucked in the beginning, like the first one.
Hold on. The original Mortal Kombat that came out in
I thought it
95?
sucked.
What sucked about it?
I didn't personally think it sucked. Like I thought I heard that it sucked.
Your
Or was it,
soul
or was
is
it the new
mine.
one?
The new one fucking
The new one was
sucks.
trash.
Yeah, the new
okay.
one sucks.
Oh my God, it's so bad. Don't even get me started. I could sit here for an hour and talk about that.
Give me the list again.
Yeah, the
You
new one's
said
not good.
Dangerous Minds,
Dangerous Minds.
A Walk in the Clouds, Mortal Kombat.
I don't know what any of these are.
Dun, 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 dun.
Can I get the? I'm gonna write this down. Can I get the weeks of them?
Mortal Kombat is in his first week. Dangerous Minds in his second. Walk in the Clouds in his second.
Dangerous.
I'll
Second.
put Walk in the Clouds at number 3.
Thank you.
Right. I don't even know what that was.
Okay.
I needed to look at that myself. I probably should start looking these movies up when I
Now
don't
the thing
know 'em.
is, like, I feel like Mortal Kombat would have had like a lot of people would be interested in it, but if it's the first weekend, now I know Dangerous Minds was a pretty big deal at the time. Like I know it was like up for like a bunch of Oscars and awards and stuff, so I'm not sure what the box office would have been on it though. I'm gonna say Mortal Kombat 2, Dangerous Minds 1. I'll go risky with it.
He's gonna get risky. What do you think here, Rainey?
So I was gonna go Walk in the Clouds 1, Mortal Kombat 2, Dangerous Minds 3.
living on the clouds there, huh?
I think so.
Number 1, Mortal Kombat. Number 2,
goddamn.
Dangerous Minds. And number 3, A Walk in the Clouds.
Damn.
The
Should've
Usual
reversed them.
Suspects was number 18.
Oof.
Oof.
I
At
thought they said it was a
640
good fucking movie.
640,000. It got, yeah, no. Well, I mean, it is a good movie, but word of mouth needed to spread.
Apparently.
Yeah. So I remember their marketing blitz for this movie. I remember it. This is so weird to me. And I remember seeing like the posters, like going to Blockbuster or whatever.
You remember
we're going.
shit from when you were like 6?
Dude, I remember the weirdest stuff. I can't remember what I did last week. I can't remember what my wife told me 20 minutes ago, but I can remember going to Blockbuster in 95 and seeing The Usual Suspects, and it's saying, "Who is Kaiser Sosa?" And going, "What the fuck is this?"
Right?
No, I would have been 8. No, 7.
7.
Yeah.
So you're 34.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 That's the math.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was mad.
I would have only been 2. I don't remember when it came out.
Right. But again, like, I remember that, and I feel like that's what failed the movie. Like, nobody... Who's Kaiser Sosa? I don't... Okay, what does that have to
I don't
do?
give a fuck who Kaiser Soze.
Right, like, okay. I think it should have been, like, a little bit different, just showing the, the Usual Suspect lineup and being like, who killed or who's behind it or something. You know what I mean? Like,
You should do
Yeah.
marketing.
maybe I should do marketing, Randy. Maybe. I don't know. I shouldn't. So I just think like that's what failed the movie, but then word of mouth took over and was like, yo, dude, this fucking movie is great.
Well, it took 5 weeks, though.
True. But once it did, I mean, it took off. I mean, you could say, okay, 67 million isn't a lot, but for a movie that started at 640,000 in its first week,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And with a $6 million budget, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. So, Rotten Tomatoes time. We're going to guess what the tomatometer or the tomato meter or the Roddy T's, as we like to say here, critics and audience score. So, we're going to guess the critic score first out of 100% and then do the audience score after
So
that.
I'm not going to guess because I remember the critic score.
Do you?
I'm going to let him go.
Okay.
Yeah. You go ahead.
Is critics saying it's like 86%?
Well, is
That's what I'm gonna guess.
He's going to guess 86. What are you going to guess?
I was going to go 89.
89. It is actually 89.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at you with
Yeah.
a remembering
Yeah.
mind of your own. Like, okay, what do we think the audience score though is?
I didn't see that one, so I'm going to
It's
guess
not
this
up there,
one.
yeah.
I'm going to keep it in the 80s. I'm going to go 81.
81 he's going.
81.
Okay. All right, Wyatt, what are you thinking?
I'll go with like 77.
77, he thinks the audience is lower. Audience score? 96.
Shoo.
96.
Good for them. Okay.
Jeez. Okay.
I don't disagree, but I don't think I would give it that high. There's some people in there that obviously give it 100% though.
Look, I have a scoring system in my head,
I know.
and a 96 is like Back to the Future 2 level. You ain't going to get
It
there.
has to be damn near perfect.
Right. It's got to be, I need everything. I need action. I need dialogue. I need nice, pretty women. I need Michael J. Fox in it. I need a time machine. I need a guitar solo. I need
You just need
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd needs
Back
to
to the
show.
Future 2 is what you need.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to get a perfect movie, or in the 90s, it needs to be like, holy shit, what am I watching? And genre defining almost, right? Now,
Yeah.
did I watch Back to the Future 2 when it came out? No. But I did watch it probably like when I was fucking 3 years old and continued to watch it, and it's still the best movie I've ever seen. Fight me. I don't care. So I put every movie up against that movie. So if you're letting... We have a thing here, too. We haven't talked about this in a while. It's the phone test, right? If I pick my phone up at all during the movie, it failed, and I take a point off for that, right? So now you're at 9. What are you going to do? My dad has this thing. This is going to be fucked up. He's done this once or twice at a restaurant. I told him to stop. The waitress comes up. He goes, here's a $20 bill. As long as we're good, 20's there. But the minute you start messing up, I take $1 from that.
Oof.
Oh man.
Yeah, I remember
does
looking.
that?
He did that?
He done that like once or twice
Damn.
when we went somewhere. I was like, damn, that's fucked up. What are you doing? Give me that. But it made me start thinking. And when we started this podcast, that's how I look at things, right? Like I'm giving every movie a 10 out of 10, right? Until it starts doing something where I'm like, take a point off. Take a point off, right? The minute I take my phone out, I'm taking a point off, right?
So you didn't get a drink fast enough. Taking $1 off that bitch.
Right.
Okay.
My drink's not here. I ordered it like 2 minutes ago. $19. My steak's undercooked. $5 coming off. Right. You know what I mean? That's my dad when he used to eat meat. Yeah. No, he doesn't eat meat anymore. Anyways, what I'm saying is like,
Your dad doesn't eat meat anymore?
yeah, he's been vegan for 5 years now.
The fuck?
He had a esophagus problem where eating red meat was causing his esophagus to like swell up a little bit. So then it was causing him high blood pressure and all this other stuff. So taking out meat from his diet has made him healthier.
Okay.
So he has
I
a
get it.
legitimate reason.
Yeah. Okay.
But-
That's fine.
Don't fuck up his tofu order. Don't.
$5
$5.
coming off that tip.
It happened. It happened the other day. We went to Terrific and Tiffany ordered it online or not online, over the phone. We were driving. I had to go to AutoZone and we're driving. And she calls up. She's like, I want to, place an order. And she's like, right away, oh, we're only accepting cash. And my wife's like, are you kidding me? Hangs up and like, the world's over. Like, oh my God, everything. Why can't I have a perfect day? What the fuck? She like wanted to throw the phone out the window. I'm like, hey, it's all right. I got $20 here. We're good. We can stop at the PNC. We can get some money. It's fine.
Gotta go.
It's fine.
I
So she
can't wait
calls
for
back.
dinner.
Right.
By the way.
Okay.
I'm saying.
Oh, all right. So did you message my wife?
I did.
Oh, all right. Good for you. Anyway, so then we go and pick up the food and she orders, we got sesame chicken and then she got tofu and something else for my parents. We get home. We have 4 giant things of chicken.
Is that what you were eating on Saturday?
Yeah, that's why I had so much chicken because we ordered this chicken from the Chinese restaurant and they were probably like, God damn, these people love chicken.
I fucking love chicken.
Right.
Goddamn.
Too much. Sorry. Anyways, back to the usual suspects. IMDb score. You want to guess that? We can guess that. That's out of 10.
I think I remember
Is
it.
it like a 9.3?
9.3 is going with. Randy, what are you going with?
7.6.
7.6. It is an 8.5.
Is it not on there?
Right
What
in
was
the
the other
middle.
score I saw?
So the way Plex does it, they show the Rotten Tomatoes critic score, and then they show the popcorn movie something score. I don't remember
yeah.
what that's from.
I don't either.
What it popcorn movies or something
Fandango?
like that? Maybe it is Fandango. I don't know. But yeah, 8.5, not bad, not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad. No.
That's good.
So, getting to who was your favorite character in this movie? Go to Randy first.
Oh, no.
We got. Oh no, I didn't have my cheat sheet.
Favorite character? Probably just Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. I mean,
Yeah.
he is the main
he
character.
is the main character.
He
So
is
that's like, I
talking
think it's
through
an
it.
easy pick, but you know,
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Yeah, like the whole like coming up with the story. And obviously, it wasn't him coming up with the story, but he played it well.
Yeah, touche.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
played a handicapped person really well.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of movies where we've had handicapped people playing handicapped people. We did the score a while ago, and what's his name? American History X, the original Incredible Hulk from the Marvel Universe.
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton played a handicapped person, but he was playing a handicapped person in the movie in which he wasn't a handicapped, just like this movie. So that's politically correct, and you can do that. Whereas if you were Simple Jack in Tropic Thunder, you don't do that. Never go full retard, man. Never. So, Wyatt, who was your favorite character?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say verbal Kevin Spacey. If not, I would probably say his name is Fensta, but it's Benicio del Toro's character. I love because I was kind of looking into like the backstory, but how apparently not even the actors that worked on the movie knew what he was saying for the most part with that accent and
His accent,
that
yeah.
dialect that he was speaking through. Because apparently that just kind of came up out of nowhere. That was just the direction he wanted to go with the character. But I think some of the comedic parts of the movie hit well with him because everybody's like always asking him like, "What did you say? Like, what the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah.
No, I mean, he did good on that because half the time I was like, "What the fuck is he saying?"
Well, I remember
Yeah.
sitting there thinking like, okay, I've seen him after this in movies. Was he just not good at English then? But apparently he was, and it was just literally him like, I'm going to do this weird ass accent for no reason.
Yeah,
Who was he?
because he
And
did
he
Fear
sure
and
does
Loathing
all
like a
porn?
year or two after this, and I mean he's a much
Mexican guy.
crazier character, but you can at least understand what he's saying for the most part.
Right. The guy that got killed and he was on the beach.
Yeah.
Right.
Who was
Yeah.
In real life or in the
He-
movie?
he?
In the
Name
movie.
like another movie.
Name another movie that he was in. Here's one for you. So you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah.
He's the fucking what's his
Yeah.
name? The not Taskmaster. That's not fucking one. The guy they go to with the orb that has the Infinity Stone in it. He's got the white hair with like the goatee.
He has like the collection of different.
The collector.
yeah.
He's the collector. Yeah, the collector. Yeah,
The collector.
him?
That's it.
yeah.
What the fuck?
I know, right? I wanted to say it to you in the movie, but I couldn't think of the collector either, and I was like, oh, fucking the collector.
Yeah, he's in a
Wow.
bunch of shit.
Yeah.
I think he's in that Sicario movie.
Yep,
I've
yep.
seen that once.
He's in some TV shows too.
No idea.
He was in a Star Wars. Well, you haven't gone through all the Star Wars yet, but he was in the second one where they go to the casino planet, and he brings them down to that. Was that Last Jedi?
I don't think I made it there.
Yeah, don't.
Second in.
Second in the newest trilogy.
Yeah, I haven't made it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The first one, watch, but the next one, terrible. You know what? You'd probably like it because they're very fast and furious-y.
Good.
Yeah. Whatever. My favorite character was Kobayashi. If he was that character, right? Because again, this is a story that Kaiser Soze is making, right? So, but in that story, I like those scenes where like they're like, "Yo, we'll kill you if you don't say." And he's kind of just like, "Well, do whatever you got to do. I got a job to do here. Like, this guy's real.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm meeting with your fucking girlfriend right now. Like,
Yeah.
do what you got to
He
do. If
wasn't
not,
phased at all.
right? Like, he's like, fucking, let's go here. Like, what do you want from me?" And then that look that he gave him after he sat down, and like you even brought it up. You said that was a great like shot where it's showing his reflection in the mirror. The what the fuck's his name? Keaton. And like he just kind of looks at him like, "Yep,
Yeah, what the
Gotcha,
fuck you gonna
bitch.
do now?
exactly,
It's your move.
right." Now again, if that's not the character and that's just the story that he's making up, I mean, even though it could be anybody, it's still a great character that he made up, you know. So I liked it.
I was still a really smart shot.
Oh yeah,
Using
I
like
liked it.
the shadow, like
Mhm.
whatever, the reflection to get him in there. I was like, God damn.
You look good. You look
Good.
good.
Yeah.
Good for Brian
One
Singer.
of my main problems was like the dude they cast as Keaton. It was like the way they talked about this dude through the whole movie and his history and what he's done, it didn't line up with the guy that plays him. Like, I don't believe this dude did all of this stuff that you're talking about. Like,
Yeah, he didn't
went to that
seem-
hardcore prison in like a foreign country, and he killed multiple people there. And then he was a criminal mastermind that like just didn't care about anything. He would just kill anybody out of like off of a whim. But like everything they were kind of saying that this guy did, I just didn't believe that this guy that was portraying him. I didn't buy it.
Right. Well, and again, though, who's coming up with or who's talking about that? Is it not Kaiser
True.
Soze, or is it the cops kind of saying like, okay, we think he's doing all this? Because I agree
True.
with you. Like, I didn't see that guy as being that either. And even in the beginning, where he's sitting down for dinner with those French people, he even's like, "What are you doing? Like, what do you have on me? Like, I'm nothing. I'm not doing anything." And who knows? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that could be that. But I definitely agree with you. Like, that actor being cast in that role, if they're looking at the specific things you said, kind of feels,
Yeah,
I don't
because
buy
if it
him.
was just him being an ex-cop that turned dirty, I could believe that, like how they mentioned. But all this other stuff that they were going on about is like, I don't believe that as much.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah. Do we have a favorite part or scene in this movie, Randy?
When the cop comes back in, he was like, "So who's Kaiser Soze?"
Mhm.
Kaiser Soze goes, "Fuck." That's a little,
Yeah.
it was short, but I loved it.
Well,
Like,
that's,
"Oh, goddamn."
that's another genius
That was
kind
awesome.
of thing,
I know.
too,
he was like,
right?
Fuck, they figured it out.
But is he saying fuck because he thinks they figured out he's Kaiser Soze? Or is he just going along with the character that he's making, like, fuck, I've been holding this back to not tell you that I'm afraid of this guy,
Yeah.
right? Oh,
Yeah.
There's so many layers here you can peel back like an onion, Shrek, and just see what, you know, like, the more you break the movie down.
Cakes have layers.
Right.
I think that was the first time I remember them saying "fuck."
In that movie?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very audible fuck.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah. So no, that I mean, yeah, I'll give you that. It's a good little scene. What do you got there, Wyatt? You got a favorite part of the scene?
I would probably say the ending, like just the whole them piecing it all, like the cop piecing it all together with the bulletin board stuff, and then like as you've mentioned a couple times, just that walk that he has, where it just slowly translates to him just pretty much faking everything. But the other standout scene I would probably say was what we talked about a little bit ago, where they actually went and did the heist on that. They called it like the taxi service, where it was like dirty cops were just take money from like drug dealers and kingpins to just kind of drive them around the city, and they just happen to stop one of these people and steal everything they had. And like you mentioned, how cool of an idea it was, just surrounding them with those vans, and just they lit the car on fire so they couldn't go anywhere. They ripped like the windshield out and everything. I thought it was a pretty cool idea how they planned that all out.
I agree. That dude. Let me punch.
a fucking
let me
windshield.
punch the windshield out of your car.
A cop
Like,
windshield.
what a badass. I don't think that could actually happen, but fuck it.
No.
That was badass. We'll punch it out. My favorite scene, again, you touch on it, the end. It has to be the end. You know, everything comes together. Everything works so well. I even said to you, I'm like, he's going to drop the coffee cup is dropping, right? Boom, it drops. You show everything on the fucking the board, and he pieces it together, and you can see just like his soul leave his body, like, I've been had. What the fuck? And then he just goes out to try and find. Right, and it's like, it's so well done. Like, there could have been so many cop-outs to this movie, or so many ways to make it not work, but it works. And it only works because at the end, it all comes together, and you're like, this motherfucker, Kobayashi, son of a bitch.
Yeah,
That was good.
I also like that scene where it was like the second heist after the like the van stuff, is when they like trapped those people in the parking garage.
Oh, yeah.
And the dude just was not giving up that briefcase, and like Keaton was doing everything in his power not to kill this dude, and because that was one of his rules, is like, we're not killing anybody if I do these jobs. And that's where you kind of saw like the inner workings with Verbal, because he's the one that at the end kills the guy,
Literally.
just so they can get out of there at that point. So it's like, okay, he had the balls to go and do it when he's been kind of staying in the, in the wings, staying in the background of these sorts of jobs. So it kind of got to see his true side, Verbal, at that point in the movie.
Right. Now, again, though, is that the way he's telling the story, or is that what actually happened, right? So if you break it down to he's telling the story, what does that add to the cops, right? He's confessing to killing a dude for a job to the cops. To me, that adds to, well, this guy's telling the fucking truth, because why would he tell us he shot some dude in the face?
Why didn't they keep him there? If that was the thing?
Because he was a witness to giving up all this information, and because of that, they were giving him immunity, right?
You're right.
Because he was telling all these people that, and that's the whole point of it. Is it's so genius when you break it down. Like, if I'm admitting to shooting a dude point blank in the face to take this guy's jewels or money or whatnot, or was it cocaine? I can't remember. Why would he say that to the cops if that's going to incriminate him? Obviously, he's working with us, and it's just it's genius writing, it's genius execution, and it just, again, breaking down the movie and trying to find a plot hole or try to like say, this doesn't work. I can't find one. I honestly can't.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, because even like the very first scene of the movie where you see like the ending of the movie first,
right,
with that guy just coming out of the shadows and shooting Keaton, you had, before he even shoots him, he takes out his lighter, the gold lighter. You see his gold band around his wrist. He lights the cigarette, and then later in the movie, towards the end of the movie, you see that same gold lighter and band and everything whenever Verbal's leaving the prison or leaving the precinct, when they give him all of his stuff back. You're like, oh shit, it's that stuff. It's him. I mean, at that point, you already kind of know, because the cop's piecing it together. But there are certain points of the movie where they kind of leave no stone unturned, because even the hat and the jacket that he wears at the end of the movie when he kills Keaton, that's hanging up in that room where the informant is, the rat that he goes in and kills. So he just takes that hat and jacket and pieces out and kind of hides his identity as he's leaving the boat and everything.
I didn't even catch that. Good. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Kaiser Simpson. Yeah. What a guy.
And then he becomes John Doe in Seven.
Right. Yeah, so
I'm
I wanted to
assuming
bring
got
that
away.
in too, because like that, every time I see Kevin Spacey, I just think of Seven. You haven't seen Seven.
Yeah,
I know you haven't. But like he's basically the bad guy, but you know he's the bad guy because he's literally caught in the first part of the movie, and then he's I don't want to kind of give it away, but it goes through the seven deadly sins, and he's killed people through like that, and like they're kind of talking through it kind of like this. Brad Pitt's in it, Morgan Freeman's in it, great movie. Gwyneth Paltrow's in
fantastic.
it in a couple scenes. She's in things.
Okay.
He gets what I'm saying.
I'm sure.
I do
I'm
know
sure
what
he
you're
does.
saying.
Right.
I haven't seen anything.
I know you've seen the memes. What's in the box? What's in the box? No, okay, well, good. So you're going to watch this movie eventually, and you're going to be like, "What's in the box?"
I smell a
and then
future
you're gonna-
episode.
right? Exactly. So, all right. Speaking of, so this movie here, why have we not seen The Usual Suspects yet? Randy, I know why you haven't seen it. I don't think we need to go through that because you're on every episode of How Have You Not Seen This Yet? Because you haven't seen anything.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never heard of this movie
Okay.
besides with the irritable dad syndrome.
Okay.
That episode.
There has to be something that you've seen that maybe, talked about this or hinted to something about it that you just didn't know because you didn't know about the movie. So it just went over your head. Like The Walk, right? Where he's walking and he's got a limp and then he keeps walking. Or the name Kaiser Sose, or the mug dropping
Kaiser
or something.
Sose sounds familiar, but I don't know what from.
Probably because he sounds like a fucking baseball player.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah, he really does.
Barry Sosa. I don't know. That's what it is to me. I was like, Kaiser Sose up next at the mound. 23 RBIs. I don't watch baseball.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. We're watching baseball for tomorrow's episode, by the way.
Oh.
A League of Their Own we're
League of
doing.
Their Own.
Yeah.
Oh,
Watched
nice.
half of it today. It's a great movie. He has obviously Randy hasn't seen it because he hasn't seen anything. But why haven't you seen this movie yet?
I don't know, man, because this is, as long as I can remember, I remember seeing like the movie poster and everything, like the marketing around this movie, of course, like the mug shot and just
Right.
like the lineup that they have on the movie poster and stuff.
Right.
The only reason I can think why I haven't seen it is just because it's not normally up my wheelhouse as far as like movies go, as like a crime, like noir type movie. It's not something that really draws me in. But it's always one of those movies that I see on lists. So like when I'm just going out trying to find something to watch, Usual Suspects is normally on all these lists that you find online of like, oh, you're bored, you need a movie to watch, some of the greatest movies like to watch or whatever. It's normally on there somewhere. It's just one of those ones that I was just like, I'll get around to it eventually, and it just never happened. I think I've even tried watching it at one point, and I only made it like 15 minutes in, and I turned it off. I was like, yeah, I'm good on this.
I'm good. Yeah.
But I don't know. I wish I would have watched this sooner after watching, because I actually really enjoyed the movie. But it's just normally this isn't the type of movie that I normally go for.
I feel you. Yeah, I'm same here. Same, but different.
Same.
But still same. Because like it's one of those movies that you're right. I've seen the trailer. I've seen the poster everywhere. I remember walking into Blockbuster and like seeing all this, and like nothing grabbed me to like, you need to watch this. Even though people, like you said, watch this movie. It's amazing. It's got one of the best twists ever. It's got one of the best endings ever. It's got the best type of like thriller movie that you can watch that you haven't seen. Nothing made me want to watch it, and then it's funny. I downloaded it a long time ago on my Plex to watch, and just never got around to it. And on my Plex, I got a lot of movies. Right? I got a lot of movies on there, so I got a backlog to get to. But I know I've seen a lot of movies. I mean, Randy can attest. I'm a patron of the arts. So you like how I put that down? Yeah. So it's one of those like, why haven't I seen
that
it?
patron of the arts?
It's a good one. That could be a tagline of a movie. The patron of the arts. So like I don't know. I almost feel bad that I'm on a movie podcast talking about movies and I've never seen this movie. It's almost like Randy
I'm on
with
a movie podcast and I've never seen anything.
right. But I mean, like that's your shtick. You know what I mean? You haven't seen anything, right? Where I'm, I guess, the host of the show, so I should see everything. Right? Like, even when you're like, I haven't seen Jaws, I was like, you can get the fuck out. Like, what? Star Wars. I haven't seen Star Wars. You can get the fuck out. Like, those are movies that if you're going to be a movie person to dissect movies, you got to see. So The Usual Suspects is sort of in that, but it's still not like that top tier, like, fuck, you need to see this. But now that I have seen it, I kind of agree with that. Like, you need to see this movie, but only in the context of when it came out, because things that came out after it, I'm not saying did it better, but stole ideas from it and built upon it, right?
They really saturated the market since then with a lot of similar style movies. Some that may have done it better, some may have not have, but there's a lot more movies like that than there were prior.
Exactly. So I guess the next question into that then is, did this movie live up to the hype around it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I never really
did,
heard
but
of it.
it didn't, because I feel like if it would have, if I didn't know the ending or who Kaiser Soze was. I think it would have, I wouldn't say blow my socks off, but I think it would have definitely left a more lasting impression on me. But overall, even with knowing the ending, I still really enjoyed the movie, though. I wouldn't say it's like a must watch or like one of the greatest like noir crime movies of all time or anything like that.
Yeah, I definitely second that. It's the same thing. Like, it lived up to it to the point of me knowing what happened. And that, as soon as it started rolling, I was like, God damn it, I already know who did it. And it just made me mad at it because I couldn't enjoy the movie like the movie needs me to enjoy it.
Exactly. That's how I felt. But I at the same time, I really appreciated the work and the love they put into it and kind of piecing everything together to kind of make you follow it throughout the whole movie. And then by the end of it, you're really like, oh crap, like with the whole bulletin board thing, like I didn't know anything about that. So that one really kind of threw me off. I was like, oh, he literally made pretty much all of this up on the fly.
Right.
So it's like, what is true, what's not true. So that part of the movie really, it worked for me. But yeah, like the whole reveal of him being Kaiser Soze, that really didn't work for me because I already knew it going in pretty much.
Yeah, I agree. So we're going to get to a part here. I know you can't hear that. We got, can you hear that?
I can hear that, yeah.
Oh, shit. All right. No, most people can't hear that, so that's fine. Anyway, so fun facts of the week. The first one I got, the lineup scene was scripted as a serious scene, but after a full day of filming takes where the actors couldn't keep a straight face, director Bryan Singer decided to use the funniest takes. A making-of documentary shows Singer becoming furious at the actors for the constant cracking up. In an interview on the special edition DVD, Kevin Pollak states that the hilarity came about when Benicio del Toro farted like 12 takes in a row. Del Toro said himself, somebody farted, but no one knew who. Tell me that's not great. Tell me that's not great. Just fucking just ripping it like, what? Who's farting? I don't know. You cocksucking motherfucker! Like, yeah, it makes the scene.
I want to see those takes.
Oh, I know, right?
That'd
But
be
it definitely makes the scene, and it changes the tone of the movie for a second, right? Where like they're literally just trying to say this line and just geeking at it. Yeah, and you even said like, why do they need the piece of paper to say that line? Like it's one little line.
Yeah,
but it's funny.
I mean, they probably needed the paper.
I saw something about that same scene where like the guy on the intercom is Bryan Singer. That apparently when Benicio del Toro said the line, like, give me the fucking money, you cocksucker, or whatever, that was impromptu where he's like, in English, please. Like, say it again. Like, that wasn't in the script. Like, he's like, I couldn't understand what the hell you're saying. Say it again.
Yeah, I did geek at that, too, because they're like, he did say it in English. What the fuck? That's racist as shit. That's good. Christopher McQuarrie's inspiration for the character of Kaiser Soze was a real-life murderer by the name of John List, who murdered his entire family and then disappeared for 17 years.
Okay. So pretty much he just pulled that whole story for Kaiser Soze's backstory almost.
Pretty much, which is kind of badass, I guess, but also fucking shitty.
Yeah.
And fucked up.
Yeah.
The title came from a famous line from Casablanca, round up the usual suspects.
So he was not very he didn't think hard.
Hold on. If this movie was made up from other movies or other ideas, is that not the movie? Because at the end, he's making shit up from other ideas on a fucking board. So does that not make the movie even better?
That's a reach.
Is it though?
Yeah,
I mean, Tarantino's made a career off of it.
Right.
I mean, he's famous for his dialogue, but he incorporates a lot of stuff from past movies that he loves, genuinely loves, and they're homages to him. But at the same time, there's a lot of straight up scenes that are pulled from some of these old movies that not a lot of people would know, except for like
Quentin
Tarantino and other people that are like deep into like those old 70s and 60s movies that nobody's ever heard of.
Which is funny because he just came out and said the last 15 to 20 years has been the worst for movies because there's nothing original. But if what you're saying is he's not making anything original either, what a fucking hypocrite!
Well, I'm not saying that. I mean, he's making original works. He just he utilizes certain like stuff that he loves from previous movies, and he kind of sprinkles them into his own works.
I get you. I got it.
Come up with your own ideas there, Quentin.
Real quick,
I love Quentin Tarantino.
There's nothing you can do that's original anymore.
Yeah,
The Simpsons did it. You know what I mean? Like, there's
Simpson did it.
nothing you
Simpsons done
can do.
everything.
Right. So
Okay.
what's going to draw people to the cinema? And I hate the fact that this is where we are in cinema, right? Like, what's bringing people to cinema right now? Reboots or superhero movies?
Yeah.
There's nothing original that's bringing people to I mean, okay, Terrifier brought money, but half of them went there
It's also
because
been fucking years.
well, no, what I'm saying is half of them went to see Terrifier 2 because people were throwing up and, oh my God, it's so disgusting.
I know,
But in
it was
reality, it
word of
wasn't that
mouth.
bad. Yeah, it was word of
Bunch
mouth.
of
So,
pussies.
bunch of pusses.
Yeah.
But so how do you get people to the cinema anymore, especially after COVID, where everyone's like, well, just watch this shit at home. I'll wait 6 months. I don't care. Or everybody's going to release stuff. I think there's two things to that, and it is there's nothing original, but there's nothing original because no one's going to see original movies, so Hollywood's not backing it. And then anything that's original is a TV show that's on Netflix or Amazon or all these bigger places, and it's giving people more creativity because you have, instead of 2 hours, you have 8 episodes, right?
You think they're going to stop making movies eventually?
They're never going to stop making
Nah.
movies, but I don't think movies will be as big as they were 95 through 2005.
Yeah. And to add on to what you're saying, a lot of some of these original works get pushed to streaming services like Netflix and such, even if they're not like a series but an actual movie.
Right.
And then people get the impression that because it's going straight to Netflix or whatever,
Streaming,
it
yeah.
may not be a great movie. That's why
Correct.
it's going to streaming services.
Yeah, correct. Like, so Hulu just did the newest Predator movie, and a lot of people said the same thing that you just said, like, oh, it can't be that good then. That's why they pushed it to Hulu. But in reality, that movie deserved to be in cinemas. It was great.
Yeah, I would have loved to see that in movie theaters.
Right. But half the people didn't watch it, or most people that I talked to was just like, oh, well, I'll watch it whenever because it's on Hulu. And that's
Yeah.
hurting it, but at the same time, it's a 2020 or 2020. What am I trying to say?
I don't know.
Catch 22.
Oh, there it is.
That, okay, you put it in cinemas and maybe people aren't going to see it because it's not the Predator movie that they want. But then you put it on Hulu because it's like, all right, well, people will watch it there. But then those same people are like, well, it's on Hulu, so I'll watch it whenever because it's probably not good.
I feel like if it wasn't for the streaming services that we have, we wouldn't have a lot of movies though, because they would all be fighting for spots in theaters.
I agree, but you're also losing the direct-to-DVD sales, right? So those movies would go direct to DVD or do a limited run in theaters and then go to DVD, Blu-ray, whatever, and make their money there. But
Yeah.
because they don't have that revenue anymore, they have to do
Well, the only reason they don't have
streaming.
it because of
because of
streaming
right?
services,
It's
yeah.
it like I said,
Yeah.
it's a
So we'd still be
catch-22.
buying DVDs. I would still be buying DVDs.
You broke-ass
Blu-rays.
motherfucker.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
And
Just
it's,
don't
it's
do
not
it.
like the old days where you had to wait like months after a movie release for it to come to Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's like
now
weeks.
or DVD. Now it's like a month and a half later.
even,
It's on
right.
digital or
Mhm.
VOD or whatever.
Exactly, and that's making me even go like Black Adam. I'm not going to go see it in theaters, even though it's probably deserved to see in theaters. I just don't want to see it, and it's nothing about
Yeah.
that movie makes me want to go to the theater to see it. I'm going to wait, which I already have. I got a pirate hat, and it's on my Plex, so
Yeah, I
I'm
was
just going
gonna
to
go-
watch it.
I was gonna go to the theaters. And
Right.
watch it,
So,
but
and here's
I
the
got it
thing.
for free,
Hold
so
on.
why
Here's the thing. I have it on my Plex, and I can watch it whenever I want. Now I just don't even want to watch it. You know what I mean? So it's one of those. It's a catch-22. Like, I have it. I can watch it whenever I want, but nothing's making me want to watch it.
Yeah.
Just-
And they just need to do a better job at, I don't know how they're going to do it, but try to make movies that make people want to go to the theater and see it. It's something completely original where it's like, I know I'm tired of just like what you mentioned, just superhero movies and just big like action crazy blockbusters that are kind of copy and paste and stuff. So it's like,
Right.
I only go to the movies when there's something I've been really waiting or wanting to see.
Yeah, and that's what it should be too. And I mean, even if it's a superhero movie, if it's well done and good, awesome. But if it's a
Yeah.
churned and burned, hey, we got to make this because we got to make it, Eternals, or fucking, I don't want to say Love and Thunder, even though that movie was just, I don't
was
want to
good.
watch. I don't want to watch it again because I think it's going to get worse for me. But
yeah, I'm not watching it again.
Black Adam, same thing. To me, that just looks churned and burned, right? So it doesn't make me want to see it.
The only thing that makes me want to see it is, The Rock. I love The Rock. I know he does everything that he can, movie-wise.
Well, good for
He
him.
was
Make
like, I'm
make
just
that
fucking- I'm gonna do it.
right. Make that paper.
Yeah.
But he's turning into Ryan Reynolds for me. I love Ryan Reynolds, but he's the same
Don't
character in every
stop.
fucking movie. The Rock is
You're
the
done.
same movie in every fucking movie.
You're
I love Ryan Reynolds.
It's true.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
But I'm going to say this on my Plex. You can watch a TV show that you should watch if you love Ryan Reynolds. It's called Two Guys, a Girl on a Pizza Place. It's when Ryan Reynolds discovered how to be Ryan Reynolds. So you get a different Ryan Reynolds at the beginning, and you see
I would
him
marry the
flourish.
shit out of him.
So watch that fucking show. You're going to like it. You like sitcoms, you like Friends. This is better than Friends.
I remember that from way back in the day. I haven't seen it since, but I remember that when it was on.
Exactly. And you can't find it only if you buy the DVD from the UK because they have like a publishing problem in the North America where two companies own it and they don't want to like pay to like distribute it or some shit. So it's never going to be on streaming. It's never going to be released on DVD. So I had to buy not a bootleg, but buy a UK version of it, bring it over here, then kill the what is it called? The whatever rights in certain areas. And then I fucking took it from there and then put it on my computer. And now I can watch it on.
So the only thing I was going to say about Black
Yeah.
Adam is he's been waiting like 15 years to do this movie.
Yeah, whatever.
So I was like, respect.
I mean, respect, sure,
Respect.
but do it better.
Like, good for you.
Do it better.
I haven't seen it
To
yet.
add on to what you were saying is like, I don't know if it's the same with you guys, but marketing plays into like this stuff as well, where
100%.
it seems like some of the trailers and stuff where it's kind of a bait and switch where they make the movie seem like it's one thing, but it's completely the other. Or they make a 2.5 minute trailer where they show you basically the whole damn movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would I pay $10, $15 to go to a movie to see what I already saw in the
just
preview?
saw it, yeah.
You already showed me the whole movie.
Saw it in a minute 30. I'm good.
So I guess I'll find out which one this movie is.
What?
Is it the bait and switch or is it
Oh, Black Adam?
just too much? Yeah.
I don't know. I had a couple friends that tell me, like, it was all right. Watch it. And I'm like, that means I'm not going to watch it. If it's all right.
So have you seen it?
No. Because
Oh,
it's
then,
all right.
bitch, what? We got to watch it.
All right. Not tonight, though.
No, not tonight.
Whatever. In December 2017, amid a flood of sexual misconduct allegations against Kevin Spacey, Gabriel Byrne said that at one point during shooting, production was shut down for 2 days because Spacey made unwanted sexual advances towards a younger actor. In June 2018, Kevin Pollak claimed that the person in question was actually the then boyfriend of director Bryan Singer. Adding to that, which I don't have written down, Bryan Singer has
Was Bryan
numerous
Singer's history.
exactly has numerous sexual misconduct allegations against him with younger, like 14-year-old boys
Piece of shit.
of him trying to like, hey,
Yeah.
you want to touch his dick? Yeah, you know. So, two guys admit like weird shit working together. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very messy situation. See, I didn't even piece all that together. Like, 'cause I knew about the Kevin Spacey stuff, but I didn't hear about the story that it was going on at that time. So if it was happening like on the same project as Bryan Singer, I mean that's not good news. that's pretty
Yeah.
ugly.
I had no idea any of that happened, and I thought Kevin Spacey was a good one. I thought he was one of the good ones, but apparently not.
Nah, he was even more. He's going down. It seems right now. Like Bryan
yeah.
Singer, he had the different accusations and stuff. I don't think he really like served time or had any like
Not yet, no.
repercussions other than
Spacey?
like pretty much barred from the movie industry for a while. But Kevin Spacey, it's looking like he's going to jail.
Oh yeah, he's done. I remember I was
like now.
yeah.
Oh.
I was big into
Yeah.
House of Cards, and they took him off the final season or 2 seasons because of all this.
Yeah.
And he was the main character, and like they had to rewrite the whole show
Why do
because of
people-
it. Why do people fuck up? I don't
Yeah,
know, Randy. They like little boys and they like touching them. Ask
But
a
like
priest.
before that, you're like you hear about it and you're like, oh, Kevin Spacey is one of the greatest actors. Like no way. And then like you hear everything about it, like what happened, and you're like, oh, and I could totally see that out of Kevin Spacey.
Well, yeah, and
He
that's
totally
that's,
seems like that weird dude.
and that's that weird space where you're like, okay, he's an amazing actor, great, but normally actors have to be kind of fucked up to get in the headspace that they're in. So hold on, but does getting in those headspaces fuck you up? You know what I mean? Depending on, like, if you look at Kevin Spacey's back catalog, he's played some fucked up characters. Now, you can either be Jared Leto and go off the deep end, or you could be Kevin Spacey and go off the deep end, or you could be fucking Robert Downey Jr. and be like, I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. It don't fucking matter. So it's one of those.
Talk about a comeback.
I know, right? Oh my God.
Talk about a fucking comeback.
You're right.
He's doing good.
One of the best videos I have ever seen. I need to share it with you. It's a behind the scenes of Tropic Thunder when I don't know if it was a makeup test or if it was like the first night Robert Downey Jr. put on the Osiris whatever makeup.
I don't care what it is. I want to watch it.
It's him completely ad-libbing, being in like this hotel room with like his make-believe sons and wife. And it's honestly the funniest 10 minutes I've ever seen of anything in my life. Like, he's just literally going off, not breaking character, but you can tell there's cracks. He kind of almost starts, like, laughing and shit, but I don't want to explain it.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
When actors
awesome.
start laughing while they're doing shit, it is the best thing.
Unless you're, what's his face from SNL, who has a Tonight Show? Jimmy Fallon. Unless you're Jimmy Fallon, stop laughing.
Even then, it's
Yeah.
funny. But RDJ,
Yeah.
I want to see everything.
You're right. Man,
Oh,
you
yeah.
shredded like a julienne salad, boy. What's that? Give me that map.
We're watching it during dinner.
All right,
We
that's
can
fine.
find it.
That's what, Tropic Thunder?
No.
Oh, that?
whatever yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got
want
it.
to see
I sent it to
yeah.
Wally.
Cool.
Anyways, throughout the movie, the word fuck and its derivatives are used 98 times.
Bullshit.
Derivatives.
Where?
So fucking fuck you, motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
Right.
There's no way. It
Yeah.
seemed normal.
Dude, in the
That seems
lineup,
excessive.
just that scene, it's got to be like 30 times.
No. Fuck you, you fucking cocksucker. Oh, fuck you, you fucking cocksucker.
Right, and then they keep
Yeah.
saying
Okay,
it
so that's
over and
twice.
over, and then
Twice
they're
every
Everybody
laughing.
has
five.
to say it.
So
Yeah.
So that's 20.
And remember, again in English, please.
That's 22.
So 22 in just that scene, that's the first 10 minutes of the movie.
It seemed like a normal amount, to be honest. It seemed
Yeah.
normal.
Whatever.
Maybe I just work in a weird place.
Maybe. In one of his most infamous reviews, Roger Ebert gave thumbs down to the movie, giving it 1.5 stars out of 5.
Who was that?
Wow.
One of the greatest movie reviewers, Robert Ebert, and
I don't trust any.
What was the first? It was Ebert and
Roper.
well, that was the second guy that took over. Who was the first guy that died? Why can't I think of this?
That's a lot
Ebert,
of people.
Roger Ebert and
I just remember Ebert and Roper because that was like
Yeah.
our generation or my
Right.
generation.
he was one of the like he was on the news doing movie reviews all the
Yeah.
time, and like he had a
That's a thing? You
Siskel.
should do that.
We should do that. Yeah, Siskel
No,
and Ebert.
Siskel
There,
would do
yeah,
that.
sorry, it's Siskel and
You
Ebert.
should do that.
I should do that.
Yeah, you should do that.
Well, thanks for the confidence
money.
boost, but
Yeah.
I don't think I'll get on the news.
Probably not. Too white.
I'm too white.
Yeah.
You white, then you Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
All right, final decisions out of
I love
10.
boobies.
I like your take on boobies. Final decisions out of 10. What would we give this movie? I'm going to Randy first. What? No, hold on. I'm going to go to my man Wyatt first as the guest of honor. What would you give this out of 10?
Before I do this, I actually had one little fact that I wanted to give that I found.
Go
too.
for it.
Apparently, the detective that's like interrogating Verbal the whole time. I don't remember the actor's name, but I mean, you see him in a ton of different like mob movies and stuff. Apparently, they wanted Al Pacino to play that part, but he turned it down to go and do Heat instead. I was like, man, if Al Pacino would have been that role, that would have been fucking awesome.
You know what?
Like-
that would have made this movie probably not get $675,000
Would
in
it,
the
though?
first week.
He didn't do much.
No,
Just for that
Al,
scene where he's yelling at him towards the
Right.
end, it would have been
but
worth
Al
it.
Yeah, but-
Pacino in the movie. Let's be real. That guy is in the movie a lot. Think about
Yeah.
it. He's interrogating
lot,
him a
though?
lot. Oh yeah. At the end, he's the guy who's trying to find out who he is. So imagine Al Pacino running outside, going, "Hoo-ah, where is he?"
He didn't have much face time.
That cocksucker.
Right. It would have been great.
There wasn't much face time.
Okay,
for
but
him.
even if it's Al Pacino, you don't need that. You have the name of Al Pacino, right? And he's there.
That's ridiculous.
What?
Because
Thought you
even
just
though
had
he's
the
not in the
name?
movie that much, they would have put him like one
Yeah.
of the top billings, I'm sure. On the
Oh
cast.
yeah.
like
Well, yeah.
Al
Al
Pacino.
Pacino.
Why? What
Why
was
what?
that? Was the detective like one of the on like the cover?
No.
His name
the
wasn't
u-
on there. His name wasn't on there.
No.
But if
So
it was
he-
Al Pacino, it would have
If
been.
yeah, well yeah. So
I
his
bet
name
that's
was
not better than
Chaz.
probably.
His name was Chaz
That's Michael Murray.
Palminteri.
No, I was close.
We got you. Well, we got one thing about Chaz Palminteri and his partner in this
It was
movie.
very close to Chad.
If you've seen Night at the Roxbury, which came out in '98,
Yeah.
they're both in that movie
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Exactly.
You've seen it?
He's that dude's like the dad in a lot of stuff. Like he was the dad in Night at Roxbury, and he's like the dad in Clueless, which was like
Yep.
around the same time.
Around
and
the-
then he's
yeah,
in so
94,
much
I
other
think.
shit too.
Just playing dads.
Just playing dads.
Dads playing dads.
Dads being dudes. Doing your thing.
Dads playing dads. Playing dudes. Playing another
Whatever.
dad.
Whatever. So what would you give it wide out of 10?
Oh, out of 10, I'd say this is a solid 7.
He's giving it a 7.
I agree.
Rolling the dice.
Yeah.
7. I was gonna give it a 7.5. So yeah, I'm not far off you guys as well. Again, I think if I didn't know anything, I'd give it an 8. But
Yeah, mine
knowing,
would probably be higher if I didn't know anything about it.
knowing,
I knew nothing about it.
well, but as I was watching it, I went, "Fuck, I know it." You know, like, but if I didn't know because of media and stuff around it, it would have been an 8 for sure. Like, the movie is well fucking done. It's like we said, there's no gaps, there's no plot holes, there's no stuff that you can think your way out of to be like, that doesn't make sense. Like, everything makes sense. Everything pieces together. The movie itself is just, I don't want to say genius, but it works on every level.
I mean, it's smart for sure.
Right. And that
He knew what he was doing when he was doing it.
irritable dad syndrome woman who fucking went to college
lot
figured it out.
smarter than
A
us.
lot smarter than us.
Yeah.
Figured it out in the first fucking scene and was like, oh, I got it. This movie makes no sense. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you kind of have to do to be original anymore. And I mean, for that time, they just took like a basic like crime thriller noir movie and kind of flipped it on its head and incorporated like the, not like a whodunit type thing, but like who was like the mastermind behind it all, which you don't even really find out maybe until like the halfway point or a little over about like Kaiser Soze and what's going on with that.
Right.
So I mean, it's just a matter like you mentioned, there's really no original ideas anymore, but you got to take some of those ideas and make something original out of them. Do something with them that hasn't been done before.
Yeah, I agree. And this movie at the time was original, so it definitely bulks up a little bit.
And
of
one
that
last
thing.
question. Was that his real name?
Kaiser Sosa?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, I think so.
I always thought that, like, so this is what threw me when they showed him like being Mexican. That name seems German to me, Kaiser. You know what I mean? So
Kaiser.
I figured like,
Oh,
and what he what he
right,
was
you're
shown
right.
wearing, obviously that wasn't his clothes, but in the beginning he takes them from that guy. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I figured that was like a German type hat.
The hat and the suit?
I figured he'd pull out a fucking
That's like Italian.
what's the German, the Mauser or whatever, the fucking gun.
Mm-hmm.
What's their handgun?
Act like I knew things.
I've played so many Call of Duty
Act
games.
like I knew things.
You know things. Whatever. I figured they pull out the German handgun that they all use and he'd like shoot him with it because I was like, Kaiser Soze, of course. Yeah, it's fucking, whatever. German
What gun do they
handgun.
use?
I'm going to, not gangster.
It's just like it's like a longer one, right?
German
That's what you're thinking of?
hand.
Like a longer barrel? You're not?
Not
I
hand.
can picture it. I don't know what it's actually called.
I feel like
though.
I can too. But I have no idea what you're talking about. You're just coming up
A
with
Luger.
shit. Oh.
Luger.
God damn, why wasn't it?
Are you
A Luger.
serious?
Yeah, it's a Luger. You know,
I mean, not like a... God, I need a picture.
a Luger.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
A
Yep.
Luger.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
Yeah.
it.
You see it? Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
exact picture I had in my head.
Yeah.
It's like
A
There you
Luger.
go.
Right. Exactly.
That's what I was thinking of. I thought it was longer.
I mean, you can probably get barrel attachments to make that barrel a little.
Who knows size anymore? You know what I mean?
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
nobody knows what
Yeah.
size.
Hey,
is.
size
2
don't
inches,
matter,
3
man.
inches.
It's
Exactly.
Half inch, 2 inch, same thing.
That's what you do with it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyways, all right. So we're at the end here. I want to say I appreciate you coming on here, Wyatt, and joining us for How Have You Not Seen This? Again,
Thanks for having me on.
For sure. Anytime. The Usual Suspects, we know now why we haven't seen it, and we have seen it, Randy.
We have.
We have.
Yeah.
Look out for more episodes of How Have You Not Seen This, because there's a lot that Randy has not seen.
I'm going to design a shirt.
I don't know why I haven't made a shirt either. But
know.
if you
I'm
want to
gonna
find a shirt, you can go on our website and find merch on our shirt at www.thedecisionreel.com.
Found merch on our shirt at
You
the
can find it-
website.
Yeah, exactly. Wyatt, again, for the people who are still listening, where can we find you at?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go find me at Cinema Trip Reviews on YouTube and Instagram, and you can also find me on Twitter at Cinema Trip Views.
Maybe not on Twitter anymore. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I just started. I forget what the other app is that people are going to now. I just started one of those, Hive or whatever it's
Hive,
called. So you can find me on
something.
Hive. If people
Sure.
go into Hive, find
Like
me there
Hive.
as well.
Sounds
I
cool.
don't care. I mean, it'll probably be something different next
What's
week
wrong with Twitter?
anyway. But
What's
so many
wrong
damn
with Twitter?
accounts.
Yeah, what happened?
Elon Musk is burning that motherfucker down.
Get it, Elon.
I think he's doing it on purpose.
Oh, that's all
There's
right.
no way
But
he's
I have a
not.
link.
It's just Twitter.
But I have a link tree. People can just go to that
Oh,
and
yeah.
you
There
can
you go.
find me
Yeah, that's all
wherever.
you need.
Find you wherever. I like it. Cool. Well, hey, Wyatt, thanks for coming on again. As always, we
Thanks
are
for having me.
Anytime, like I said, I think we're going to be on your show to do the Die Hard review.
Yeah, fuck
coming
Yeah,
up.
Love
That
this
should
shit.
be
special
fun.
Christmas episode of Die Hard.
Fuck
See,
yeah.
Christmas, because it's a Christmas movie.
It is.
Fight
I
me.
know. Fuck it. Whatever. It's Christmas.
Fight me. We'll go over that on his show. So
So
if
is
you
the
want to
weapon.
hear why it's a Christmas movie, tune into that episode whenever that's going to drop.
Yeah.
Probably sometime in December, I'm assuming, since it's Christmas.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably the week after we record there.
Perfect. I like it. All right, guys. Well, again, if you want to find us at The Decision Reel, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.
Bye.